Alright, the stream should be back. Oh, that was weird. Weird. Back to work. Work. What is this? Like a hole in the mesh again? I thought I could get rid of this. Oops. Oh no, this is the duplicate. Okay, I can just move the back here. Don't need that. We were gonna merge these. This is the front. But this one here. The front, I guess. Or are these gloves? Did you miss the last stream, Banana Born? Tarkus would know what these gloves are for. Yep. They're for a very tactical, very tactical purpose. Well, actually, the real reason is that mitts. Okay, so mitts. This is like a armoring tip. So if you ever want to go buy your own armor, this is kind of like an armoring tip for you guys. So mitts, they provide more armor than fingered gauntlets. They really do. So if you want to have like, if you want to max your defense, you should go buy some mitts. However, that means you can't really move your individual fingers. You can sort of, because unlike the inside, but you can't really move. You can't really point with your fingers because all of your fingers are like locked together in like kind of like a mitten. Also, on the plus side, uh, you can bake like a badass using mitts. Like you won't get burnt at all. Ah, it's so good. Totally OP. Plus 50 fire resist. Like you can fight dragons using this thing. You can fight dragons and the dragon's gonna be like, oh no, not mitts. Mitts are my arch nemesis. No, the screenshot is Black Desert Online. It's an MMO. It's really fun. You should check it out if you're uh like a diehard SG fan, like waiting for the game to come out. But of course, we can't get it out as fast as we can. Well, as fast as we want. So I would check out Black Desert Online if you like open world medieval stuff. What is it like compared to WoW? Um, the WoW is very it's very like level progression based. So like it's very like gear dependent and very gear based. It's kind of like the same. It's the same thing in Black Desert Online, but uh it's not really like that to an extent. If you like Black Desert Online is I feel like almost more like an MMO than WoW is. At least now. Um, the cool thing is like I've been running into the same players over and over. Like whenever I go like fishing or something, I see like the same player. Like it's kind of weird. So I don't think there's sharded servers. Like everyone plays on the uh same server and stuff. Or at least they can choose which server to be on. They'll run into the same people over and over again, which is kind of what an MMO really is at heart. But yeah, I would say Black Desert Online is more like crafting based. There's a lot of crafting stuff. There's like a lot of extra stuff besides just like fighting, killing. And it's also like a game uh, which has a lot of AFK activities, which is cool if you're like working at your laptop. So you can do video game research uh, in your spare time. AFK game building. Yep. I mean, the armor in it is like your typical fantasy armor. Um, but it is better than a lot of other games' armors. But it's still very heavily fantasy. But like fantasy stuff isn't necessarily a bad thing. Um, it's just like the functionality. The functionality of armor, right, is the important thing. If you have like spikes that are like sticking into your elbows or well not really elbows, but you know what I mean, Tarkus. Like the technical details of how armor is put together and how it functions. You aren't gonna see that in Black Desert Online. But still they have a good art direction, I think. Like they can make fantasy armor and make it look decent, decent enough. That's why Tarkus. That's why you should go do some 3D models, and then like help Black Desert Online make some better armor. Because I can't do this all by myself, you know. I can't turn the whole industry around just by making these armors by myself. I don't have enough time as one person. What games have great armor in your opinion, besides Exanima? Uh, Dude, let me think. Okay, so like a lot of games have really good armors from like an artistic perspective, right? Mordhau. Yeah, I would say like Mordhau comes the closest for realism. I don't think Witcher 3 is very realistic in terms of like how the armor is put together, but they do have a good art direction. Although I'm not sure about that, like the cover art armor for The Witcher or for Geralt, where he has like chain armor, but it's like in like these sections, which totally negate the purpose of chain armor, in that it's supposed to be a bit loose so it can catch things. If you just like have it laying flat on a leather surface, uh, it's not gonna have the give that you need for it to actually be protective. So it's basically just fantasy armor at that point, and not very good looking fantasy armor in my opinion. Yeah, Witcher 3 has both good and bad designs. I would say, where are those like Death Knight looking characters? I haven't actually played through all of Witcher 3. But like the death gods or whatever, those guys who are like really spooky. I would say the armor and that those guys have pretty cool looking armor. Yeah, the Wild Hunt, that's right. Wild Hunt has pretty cool looking armor. Dragon Age. I haven't played Dragon Age in a really long time. So I kind of forgot what their armors look like. But I still know that Morgana is my bae. Them virtual GFs, man. I remember Dragon Age having really cool monster designs. Um, for like the sewer levels, I actually took a few of the monsters in Dragon Age as reference. Like the sloth demon. If you go search up, if you guys Google sloth demon, uh, that's kind of like one of the references I had for the monsters in the sewers. I really love the monster design in Dragon Age series. What is going on here? Go that up. The fuck? I was just gonna move and then topo this. I think I got a comment on where I got the inspiration for the sewer splint. I really don't know actually. I just like, okay, so I'm gonna make like a lamellar. I'm gonna make some lamellar armor, right? But also like in an interesting way. It has to be done in a certain way. I'm not gonna say why. Yeah, I didn't really have any inspiration or references for that one. This is the life. This is the way. It's so hard to go to YouTube these days because there's always like Mandalorian spoilers. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the show here just because I know probably other people here watch Mandalorian too. I can't wait for the Witcher season 2. That's gonna be fun. Forward to that one. I have a man crush on Henry Cavill. He's just so manly, guys. I don't see how anyone, any dude can't not have a dude crush on Henry Cavill. Welcome, Krampus. You know what we need? Okay, we need like a character based off Henry Cavill, in Exanima. He'll be like Darren, but more Chad. He'd be like Chadarin. Call him Chadarin. I just realized like Todd's workshop, uh, he made stuff for the TV show. It's pretty cool. Like how like everyone I know is kind of like linked up together. I'm like connecting all the dots. It's a really small world, isn't it? Thanks, Krampus. I'm glad you like the oven mitts. Pluton Parkle. I'm mostly the armor guy for bare metal. There are other 3D artists at bare metal, but like everyone except for me, I think, wears multiple hats. I just do high polys, like high poly sculpts, like what I'm doing now, and I also do retopology for bare metal. Oh yeah, that's right. I also make creatures. I forgot about that one. This feels more like my calling than my job. Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, I make statues too. Like I make everything, I guess. But yeah, I have the most experience with making plate armor. That's kind of how it is with like indie companies. So you can't really just get by just by doing like one thing, right? You got to be able to do multiple things because there's just so few people in the company that got to take up a bit more responsibility, which I'm happy to do. Like you learn faster with like the more responsibility that you have. Like before I did like I kind of like do a bit of like community managing too, don't I? Like before I did that kind of stuff, like before I posted the coffee diaries and like interacted with people on Steam forums, as kind of like as a bit of a shithead. I was just like a toxic PvP WoW player. Like no joke. And now I've like grown up a bit. I'm kind of like mature now. It's nuts. You know, like 2020 really brings out the worst in all of us. I need to get back to my toxic self. I feel like I'm losing the core of who I am. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's also good. I feel like it's okay. So community managers are really important, but I also feel like it's even more important to have developers communicate directly to the player base, because there's just no substitute for that. Like, sure, it's nice having me talk to you guys, but wouldn't it even be better if like Maddock was talking to you guys too, like on a regular basis if he started up streams and stuff? But I mean, that's kind of like wishful thinking because he's really busy and it's understandable that he doesn't have time for that. But yeah, it'd be just amazing if he did that too. But yeah, community managers will be needed when Exanima uh, gets big and eventually has multiplayer. Like multiplayer is going to be a huge aspect, especially if people are paying a subscription. You will need community managers for that sort of thing. Multiple language chat channels. Yeah, that would be a good thing. I don't see how like too many channels is a bad thing, right? But I guess for like now, considering how small the community is, like the number of people who go on who are actually active on Discord and not just like joined up, I guess it kind of works for now. But yeah, what is this shininess? Welcome, Lockless. Uh, this is a armor for Exanima. It's a game on Steam if you're just joining from like the Twitch browser directory, or uh, if you're from the Discord, you already know that. There's a lot of Russian Exanima players. Yeah, and Korean too. I think there's like a Korean SG wiki out there somewhere. Oh, Lockless, I'm just making I'm making an armor for Exanima. This program is called ZBrush. So it's like a 3D modeling app that a lot of artists use these days for making cool stuff. But yeah, this is like a spoiler stream. If you don't want to see spoilers, this is kind of like a spoilery thing. Cute button armored mittens making armored waifu character. This is kind of like why everyone has a crush on Darren. But like um, sometimes I feel like we objectify Darren too much. I feel like if we just talk about like his physical attributes, he's gonna have hurt feelings. God damn it, Midori. I try to say something wholesome and you guys ruin it. But really, what do I expect anyway? I feel like we need more wholesome discussions in on this Twitch channel. Like I know I usually talk about like uh the quadruple B's, right? Like butts, boobs, bulge, and what was the last B? Battlestar Galactica. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I know I'm like the main perpetrator, the main perp in having a toxic stream discussions. I just say amplifier. We just have a horny chat. That's all we have. Bunch of sweaty nerds in Darren's basement. I wonder if the person uh who the fails are named after still plays Exanima. I actually don't use the official forums very often. Like hardly ever. I just go there to post the coffee diaries. But supposedly, there's this person that the fails are named after. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Tony. But the official stance is to not talk about him. So yeah, make of it as you will. It's okay, Minari. He just went out for some cigs and a carton of milk. He'll be back with us in no time. All right, let's not talk about other people behind their backs. Instead, let's talk about what kind of fanfic I'm gonna write for Darren. Uh, there has to be like some sort of Christmas themed fanfic. Wall of flesh. Where's that skirt that we made? Make it shorter. I do kind of want to see this in game, even without cloth physics, so I'll try and make it compatible. Do something like this. Needs to be a bit darker red. Right now it's looking a bit too girly. Like this. More of like a burgundy. Dark burgundy. Flannel shirt. I'll have like plaid. It'll be a plaid flannel shirt. Great. You know, like for Exanima musical instruments, I know that was in a coffee diary like years ago. Yeah, we should add bagpipes whenever that's coming. Probably sometime after the multiplayer update, like musical instruments. Scottish Night. A terrible Scottish impression. I feel ashamed. I should be ashamed. So many places I want to go to after COVID. I don't know about Scotland, but mostly because it's a Western country and most Western countries are expensive to live in or visit. Okay, I'm doing this wrong. The top part here needs something now too. Or cloth. Feel. I'll do something with the shoulder here. That could be a good plan. Good course of action. Is Zeth mute or am I Zeth deaf? I think it's just because I haven't been talking in a while. Give him a cape thing. It's true. There's only like one armor in Exanima. Well, two armors that have kind of like a short cape. I hit the booty. Oh no! At least I didn't hide the crotch. Pray, do not alter it any further. Yeah, I was gonna make some lining for the armor here, for the pauldrons especially. Gonna add some lining there, and then I'm thinking about making like an extra long lining for this, for the right pauldron. But like still short enough in so that you don't need cloth physics. What school is that cheerleader skirt from? Shut up. What we need to do now is add in the flutes, I think. Go and do that here. Here. Gotcha. Yeah, zero mesh this first. ZBrush being ZBrush again, just and why it has to have these weird polys on here too. Up with this. An oopsie. There we go. Oh, and the original Path of Exile, Lion's Eye Watch. I think that's the town, or I'm confusing that with like Guild Wars. Guild Wars town. No, Lionsgate? No, wait. Okay, so Lions I Watch, Path of Exile, and Lionsgate is like Guild Wars. Either way, the Path of Exile original theme music for their town is good. Why is this so hard to slice? See if this zero meshes properly. Okay, I'm gonna have to separate this out into pieces and then delete the invisible polygons that are on the edges. Wait, actually, can I just mask by border? Mask. Okay. Hide everything that we can see. But yeah, there's these tiny little polygons that really mess up the edge. You see, I've hidden everything. Oh wait, the heck? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mask my border. Group masked. Weird. Okay. So if I go like this, then I hide. So you don't see anything at all, right? But there's these tiny little polygons along the edge that are basically invisible. And then you just have to like hide those and delete them. So I'm doing Control H, which is delete polygons or delete selected. And if there isn't anything there, ZBrush would throw up an error that says that there's nothing there to delete. But obviously there is something to delete, which is interesting. So we just have to mask the edges here. Be careful not to get the very ends. Hide that first. Control H to delete hidden. You gotta do this on both sides here. I know no one sees this part. It will never show up in game, but it does affect the curvature of the metal. So it is important to get this part. So we'll just hide that. Neat. Now if we zero mesh this, it should come out all right. Yeah. Poly is pretty good. Although it needs more polys. Let's go do double. Alright, that's what we need. We'll do the same thing here. These edges here, they might need to be trimmed so they aren't so acute. Otherwise, zero mesh would have problems with those. But we'll see how this goes. It was zero mesher. Will likely need to be, okay, so it wasn't too bad here, but this part got kind of mangled. So we'll just have to group this tip here. Regroup this. Now all of this is one poly group with the acute edge, the acute point just like tucked in there as well. So this should zero mesh a lot better. Okay, so it's a bit better there. This area is still a bit too pointy, so let's go get this too. Now there's like a flat, there's a flat quad there instead of a really acute triangle, which zero mesher has difficulty with. Okay, so now the topology is still kind of weird. So maybe we can go, but it's a lot, I mean, it's a lot better than before, right? A lot less mangled. Go grab that. Then we'll just zero mesh it again. Even more flat. Okay, so that's a lot better. But this area is a bit weird too. I think this is kind of like an unavoidable thing. Let's go group loops it. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Topology is alright after you group loops. And that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for crisp edges, really. Okay, mirror and weld this. We check for holes, because sometimes it'll can be a hole here. Nope, no holes. And we check for holes by smoothing. We'll just like run smooth along the edge. And edges that have holes in them won't smooth. Everything's smoothing nicely. Oh wait, we gotta zero mesh this first. Did we already hide and delete the edges on here? Let's zero mesh this. We'll just do a quick. No, we didn't. See, the edges here are all mangled up, even after I zero mesh it. It's because of all these hidden polys along the edge after I slice it. It's so weird. I do wish like ZBrush would come out with something kind of fix for this. So we just gotta mask these. Mask all the tiny little hidden polys along the edge. We'll invert the hide for again, and then we'll delete those. Now if we zero mesh, the topology is much better. Very well. I don't have BTTV. Boomer. I'm sorry, my millennial friends. All right, let's go merge all of this back together so we have the back plate. And now we can begin shrinking some of these edges. We'll just select all the edges here that I've prepared. Unhide, mask that. Select by one first, and then we will grab this edge, mask this, and then we'll inflate by -2. Now we have the edge here. This is for like rivets, for padding, I think, for trim usually. And then we have like insets so that the front plate will connect and merge seamlessly with the back plate. All right, I'll install BTTV. How do you do that? You just go type in BTTV. Then I guess you just hook it up to your Twitch account or something. I'll set it up later. It seems like it might take a while. And we're almost at the end of the stream anyway, so I'll try to get it up for our next stream. What the heck is Monka tea? Oh, is that Monka tall? Is that just a made up thing? I can't tell, my boomer senses are tingling, but no dice. and match this up the best we can. What we could do here is add in another a loop here. Could do that. Oh, that's a bit too many loops. Add one there. Maybe we'll add like a few more. Let's do something like that. Then we have to all together. Let's split to parts first. Because sometimes when you stitch things together, other parts of the mesh will stick together. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Merge. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, sometimes other bits of the mesh will merge, and that will cause a lot of problems in the future. Split to parts. All right, merge area. We can, what the heck? Okay. Sure. Merge them back together. Now we have a really good backplate that we can just group loops, and the topology is going to be amazing. Look at that. But first we want the flutes, right? So let's go mask out the flutes. Put the mask by groups and borders too. Yeah, we'll just do that. Mask the first set. You have to remove the masking. Remove the masking on the edge for each one of these. But the reason why we do this because there's still a dot of mask on this vertex, and we want that there, which is why we use mask by border. Because mask by groups, it doesn't mask all the way to the edge. It's a bit annoying. So we kind of have to do this manually if we want perfect flutes. All right. Now we can just hit this with, I guess inflate -1. But we'll grow the mask and then inflate -1. All right, that looks pretty good. I'll use some manual moving, move flutes in a bit more on the edge. All right. Now we can group loops this. And get some pretty neat flutes. Then we'll mask by border. Inverse the mask. Shrink it. Then we'll just push it in with the move brush. We don't really have to do the edge here because it'll never be seen as the courgette is covering that part. There we go. Now we have a back plate. And we have this area here that I was going to add some repoussé to. And then we're just going to do that to the rest of the armor. I guess we have like just enough time to do the front plate, the breastplate. Needs to be, like it needs to be, but this one definitely needs to be zero meshed. We'll do that. We'll get rid of the tip here. Is triangles mess zero measure up big time. Last time we zero meshed, the entire tip got erased, but now we have it. Have the tip back, and what do you know? Even gave us an interesting little fleur-de-lis here. It's not really a fleur-de-lis, but it looks cool. Might be able to keep this shape like that. That. Like, move this thing out. I don't know if this is gonna look good. This is like a very spontaneous thing that I'm doing here. Like that. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a bit silly. We'll figure something out here eventually. I do want to make the mechanism first before I work on the fleur-de-lis. So maybe I'll work on something else for the last few minutes of the stream. Maybe work on the fluting for the pauldrons. They're in a state to be made. Oh, you guys actually liked it? Oh well. Okay, we'll make something better. Alright, so we're gonna add flutes to this. We are missing a lateral line, like a horizontal line. You put this in. The geometry good for just like select loops? It might be. No. Almost was though. Okay, so the inline, the whatever. select out these areas. Might need the trim too, actually. Take the trim out from these areas. I want these two big plates here. And then we're gonna do like some Gothic fluting on the back here. There's the middle here. Actually, I want to steer a bit higher. Maybe we should follow this line. Cool. Let's down. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll hide the front half and just work on the back. We're gonna try and make the back look really cool, and then we'll align the flutes to the front. Instead of trying to like do the whole flute line in one go. A bit more tricky. I mean the other way. This. And not make it, not put it so close to the edge. That, and then right there. Actually, wait, let's go put a bit more grace into the bottom. Alright, there we go. I'm looking for. Flute me like one of your French armors. This really is one of my most favorite parts of making armor. It really pulls all of the armor together just by doing this. Looks so good. Super satisfying to do too. Bit hard to see with so much reflection. Show a different matte cap for now. So you can see where the lines are going. All right, guys. I think that's kind of where we're gonna end this stream. So the sea wave fluting I suggested doesn't make any sense. It sort of makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can try it, but yeah, could be cool. We can try it out next stream. All right, later, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe. Keep warm.